Just congratulations on being appointed Minister of State for Community Development, Gaeltacht, Islands and Rural Transport. You spoke inside about your good impressions of the work happening on the ground. How familiar are you with the community development sector? Do you speak Irish? Do you go to the islands from time to time? How ready are you for your brief? How excited are you about your brief?
Well, I'm very excited with the brief. I'm looking forward to working with everybody to ensure that we create a better, more inclusive, fairer society. As a practicing politician, engaging with community development has been part of what we do. But as a person who grew up as chairperson of my GA club, but also as a member of my community association, my parish council, on the board of supervisors of the credit union, the importance of community, the importance of volunteerism, the importance of community development is about ensuring that we make the lives of people better. But it's also about giving those people who are on the margins, those who are vulnerable, those who are perhaps voiceless, an opportunity to have their voices heard. And for me, it's about collaboration, partnership, support, working together like Céile. Tá Gaeilge gom, níl sé beidir go flúiseach tá Gaeilge gom agus tá mé éirí an Gaeilge úsáid, and I want to commend Minister Joe O'Brien for the work that he did in the department prior to the election. Joe was a passionate supporter of community development, of everything that's been done in the department, and I hope that I can follow in his footsteps by not just visiting community development projects, but many communities across the four corners of the country. I think we heard 180 projects. So I suppose for me as Minister, it is partly being somewhat familiar, but also learning more about the great work that's been done, about ensuring that my role as Minister works with, in support of, in partnership with everybody. I don't know everything. I will be on a learning curve, but I look forward to working with people like Céile. It can't live a court tachidiv, but it's about ensuring that we together can make life better for people. I made the point inside that if you contrast what we do here in Ireland by comparison to what's happening in the United States, where there's a potential cut to many programs that are about people. And for me as a politician, it's about ensuring that every life matters, every person is equal. It's about creating a just, fairer society where we can all have a voice, we can all be held in equal footing and parity of esteem. So for me, community development is important, whether it's rural or urban. It's about ensuring that people have access, for argument's sake, to education, to childcare, to those who are most affected by the storm. We saw the importance of the community development network. So for me, this is an exciting opportunity. It's one that I will work with, in partnership with, to ensure that we build a better Ireland.
That's very fluent in Asperla agus Ascuilga.
Níl an Gaeilge go flúis, but tá big bé ag rinne clachta leis an Gaeilge go dtí na Hán go mórmhór Cape Clear, de bhí mé sa Cape Clear uanta, de bhí me draharagus me drafór ag gobras sa siúpa duine boc Cape Clear, so tá a lán grá orm le Cape Clear go mórmhór.
Oh, Gahanova, okay. I wouldn't have that much Irish, but what is going to be your biggest challenge, do you think, or what are you a little bit cautious about that? What are your, do you have ambitions yet at this stage?
My ambition is to make sure that we continue the great work that's been done.
Specific ambitions?
Well, specific ambitions will come later when I read into the brief properly and when we engage with people. But for me, it's about ensuring that the voice of our community partners is heard in the department, that we work together to make sure that the projects, the programs that are being very well resourced, that are being very well run, continue, and that we can look at different ways of expanding programs and how we can make lives better for people. We see it with many different projects. The welcome that the Ukrainian people received in our communities, the welcome that we saw for that new voice in our communities that make our communities better. Equally, we see it where you have people who have been given an opportunity with education to be re-energized, and similarly in the whole area of community development, it's about empowerment, it's about eliminating of social injustice, about creating that just, equal, fairer society.
I have only one further question to ask. When you mentioned Ukrainians, now we welcomed them, and I think Ireland can be very proud in that way, or Irish people, but just one arm of government, and this is the only kind of tricky question, Terry, I'm going to ask you, you're only just starting, but about integration. Community initiatives have been supported by government to help Ukrainians and others from other countries, refugees, integrate, but another arm of government is moving them from, for example, Killarney to Mahon. and
and there needs to be a rationale experience the way we move people. But if there are people who are settled in communities who are making a contribution to local education, the local economy, the local community, then there must be a conversation, and we must be clearer, and we must be, I suppose, personal in our engagement with people. It's not about just moving people for the sake of moving people. It does cause disquiet, it does cause discomfort, and I hope that we can overcome that. I'll be talking to the new Minister for Integration about that, because we see the benefit in many communities where in particular Ukrainian neighbours and friends have come in. They've enriched us all. Our schools are better, our communities have been better, they're making a contribution. And I think, for me, our people have travelled the world, we've been welcomed, we've been made accepted. There were times when we weren't, when we didn't, but the Irish has always been welcomed across the world. And I think we saw when we expanded the European Union, we were a country of welcome. Our countries benefited from immigration. And I hope that we can have that sensible conversation under my brief as Minister for Community, but equally with the new Minister for Integration.
That's fantastic. Thanks, Jerry.
That's all. And you're